So hey guys, welcome back. This is Anmol Shukla and a very warm welcome to my YouTube channel History with me. आज के इस लेक्चर में हम बात करने जा रहे हैं नैनो मटेरियल्स और उनकी एप्लीकेशन की, साथ ही उनके स्ट्रक्चर्स के टाइप्स भी। आज का ये लेक्चर बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है। इससे पहले वाले लेक्चर्स अगर आपने नहीं देखे हैं अभी तक तो डिस्क्रिप्शन में आपको लिंक मिल जाएगा, वो सारे लेक्चर्स देखें। साथ ही अगर आपने अभी तक इस प्लेलिस्ट को इंजीनियरिंग केमिस्ट्री की इसको एक्सेस नहीं किया है तो आप इमीडिएटली एक्सेस कर लें। डिस्क्रिप्शन में वंस अगेन लिंक मिल जाएगा। साथ ही बीटेक स्टूडेंट्स के लिए इंजीनियरिंग फिजिक्स भी मैं कहीं ना कहीं ले आया हूँ, तो इंजीनियरिंग इंजीनियरिंग फिजिक्स को भी आप उतना ही प्यार दें जितना आप इंजीनियरिंग केमिस्ट्री को दे रहे हो। मुझे मोटिवेट करें कमेंट करके, टेलीग्राम ग्रुप को ज्वाइन करके, लाइक करके और कहीं ना कहीं अपने बेस्ट फ्रेंड से शेयर करके। आई एम नॉट सेइंग कि शेयर इट विद every friend of yours, but you can share it with your best friend, of course. So, without any delay, let's go into the slides and understand this lecture.
So, without any delay, let's understand the lecture. But before moving ahead and talk about the structure and application of nanomaterial, let's just first understand what exactly are these nanomaterials. So, nanomaterials क्या होते हैं? So, just to give you an idea, you can think of nanometer as a width of a human hair. So आपके जो बाल होते हैं उसकी width, if you take that one single hair और उसकी width आप देखो, उससे भी 100,000 times smaller होते हैं these particles, these material which are your nanomaterials. That's how extremely small they are. They're extremely small, extremely and extremely small. So these are the materials that are incredibly small, so small that you need a powerful microscope to see them. So it is impossible for you to see them with naked eyes. Of course, if I just now have told you that they are 100 times smaller than the width of a human hair. So how can you see it from naked eyes? So it's impossible for you to see it from naked eyes. In fact, you need some very powerful microscope to see them because they are incredibly or extremely small. And the name itself suggests that they are measured in nanometer, which is approximately, it's like billionth of a meter. Okay, you can think it like that. It's 10 to the power minus 9 meter if you look at the size of that nanomaterial. So they are extremely small, and that's why the name itself is nanomaterials. So they are measured because they are measured in nanometer, which are billionth of a meter. So this extremely small size, this itself, it makes them stronger. So यही स्मॉल साइज इसको इतना यूजफुल बनाता है। और आप अभी सोच रहे होगे किन कामों में यूजफुल बनाता है, हाउ कैन दिस रियली टाइनी पार्टिकल कैन बी यूजफुल? It is useful, guys, and it is really very useful, because when I'm going to tell you its usage, its wide application, you'll be amazed by it. So this extremely small size of nanomaterial, that's what it is written here, makes them special, because that's what makes them stronger. That's what makes them lighter or more chemically reactive. So the extremely small size is what makes them stronger, lighter, and also chemically reactive. And that is why it is used for wide range of application. It is used in medicines industry, it is used in electronics industry, it is used in energy industry, it is used in environmental industry, it is used everywhere. Talking about medicine, delivering drugs directly to specific parts of body, or especially used to cancer patients, so someone who is suffering from cancer in chemotherapy, or killing cancer cells. We need drugs directly to the specific part of body there. And that's how and there these nanomaterials are used. Then when you look at the electronic industry, so they are used to design effective computer chips, because the size of these nanomaterials are extremely small. And that's what makes them really faster and more efficient in computer chips. Then again, they're used in batteries, in solar panels, to store and generate energy more efficiently. They're also used in the most developed country. They're also using, even in the developing countries, they're used in cleaning up pollutants from water and air. in an effective manner. So these are some really really important or major applications of, I would say, nanomaterial. We'll talk about it in detail in few minutes, but let's just first understand the structure of nanomaterial. Okay, तो हम बात करने जा रहे हैं नैनो मटेरियल के स्ट्रक्चर की। ओके, तो सबसे पहले जिस चीज की हम बात करने जा रहे हैं वो है नैनो पार्टिकल्स। सो विल टॉक अबाउट नैनो पार्टिकल्स, देन विल टॉक अबाउट द नैनो ट्यूब्स, एंड देन विल टॉक अबाउट नैनो वायर्स। Okay, so nanoparticles are basically, these are small particles which range from 1 to 100 nanometer in size. So nanoparticles are basically, they are, of course they are going to be small particles. The whole range of these materials, these nanomaterials, are extremely small. So whatever comes in it, whatever category comes in it, are extremely small, extremely small. Whether it is nanoparticle, whether it is nanotube, whether it is nanowires. And we have understood this thing, that that's what makes them special. That's what makes them chemically reactive. That's what makes them, important for range of applications. So they are small parts. So specifically, if I'm going to talk about these nanoparticles, so their size range from 1 to 100 nanometer in size, and they can be made up of metals. So they are made up of metals. Can be gold, they can be made of gold, they can be made up of silver, they can be made up of oxides like titanium oxide or carbon like fluorescences. So due to their small size, they have this large surface area which is relative to their volume, and that's what enhances their reactivity and its strength. So in case of nanoparticle, what happens is the size is really very small, and they have a large surface area relative to their volume, and that's what enhances the reactivity and strength and makes them really useful in so many industries. Then let's talk about the second, I would say, type of nanomaterial, or a kind of structure of nanomaterial, that is nanotubes. So if you look at the shape of nanotubes, they are cylindrical. Okay, so they are cylindrical structures which are made from sheets of carbon atoms ruled in a tube. And the most common one that you can see is the carbon nanotube. And this carbon nanotube, it can be single walled, it can be multi walled, and depends upon the layer of carbon atoms. Again, talking about nanotubes, this cylindrical shape, with single wall, with multi wall, depending upon the layer of carbon atom, that's what makes them unique. And they're really important or significant in electrical and thermal conductivity properties. Then talking about nanowires, so as the name itself suggests, so they are wire-like structures, and they have a diameter on nanometer scale. So, and the structure, if you look at it, so it's a one-dimensional structure, and due to this one-dimensional structure, they have excellent electrical conductivity, and that's why they are used in miniaturized circuits. So miniaturized circuits means very small circuits, so they are used in very small circuits, or in optical fibers also they are used. So these are some structures of some important structures of nanomaterials, where we've talked about nanoparticles, nanotubes, and nanowires. Okay, great. Then thin films and nano coatings. Now these are the layers of material with the thickness in nanometer range. So these thin films and nano coatings have the layers of material with the thickness in the nanometer range, that is 10 to the power minus 10 to the power minus 9 meter, billionth of meter. So they used to modify the surface properties of material such as electrical conductivity, and since they have this layer of materials with the thickness in nanomaterial range, they are often used as coating, used as a material to coat different surfaces. So they used to modify the surface properties of materials such as electrical conductivity, hardness, or resistance to corrosion. Then the fifth type of structure that we're going to talk about is quantum dots. Now these are semiconductor particles. So quantum dots are semiconductor particles, and they are small enough to exhibit definitely the quantum mechanical properties. Basically the size is 2 to 10 nanometer, and they have this unique optical and electronic properties such as size tunable light emission. So I hope these structures are clear to you. Okay, nanoparticles we have talked about. Then we have talked about nanotubes, nanowires, then thin films and nanocoatings and quantum dots. Now we'll move ahead and talk about some more important thing. So here we're going to talk about basically the applications of nanomaterials. Okay, so let's talk about the applications. वैसे तो मैंने आपको थोड़ा सा आइडिया दिया है अबाउट द एप्लीकेशंस, बट लेट्स जस्ट टॉक अबाउट इट इन डिटेल. वन ऑफ द मोस्ट इम्पॉर्टेंट एप्लीकेशन और जो सबसे ज़्यादा देखने को मिलती है जिस इंडस्ट्री में नैनो मटेरियल की खपत और उनका यूजेज, वो है इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स. So just now we have talked about quantum dots. We have talked about thin films and nano coatings. Dots, they have this specific this semiconductor. These are some semiconductor particles basically, and they have these quantum mechanical properties. They have optical and electronic properties like size tunable light emission. Then we have also understood about nanowires. You know, they have excellent electrical conductivity and they are used in smaller circuits. Then we have nanotubes. Again, they have good, excellent electric and thermal conductivity and property. So, in sabhi examples, say we are clear with this fact that they are used in electronic industries very much, and they are used in the development of the smaller, the faster, and more efficient electronic components. So they are used in making transistors. They are used in making sensors and also in memory devices. Okay, so like I told you, the carbon nanotubes, they are used to create smaller and more powerful microprocessors. So your microprocessors are they have carbon nanotubes, again a nanomaterial. Okay, so I can write it for you. This nanotube carbon nanotube, which is your nanomaterial, it is used to create microprocessors. Okay, very strong and powerful microprocessors. Another use of these nanomaterial is in the medicine industry or in healthcare industry. Okay, so I told you, for treating cancer patients, it has its application in drug delivery. Okay, in diagnostics. So they are engineering to deliver drugs directly to the specific cells, because we all know cancer इस तरीके की डिजीज है जो स्पेसिफिक सेल्स में टारगेट करती है हमेशा. So these nanomaterials are used in such a way that they are engineered to deliver drugs directly to those diseased cells only, and that's what minimize the side effects also and efficacy of treatments also. So specifically here, quantum dot quantum dots, are used in advanced imaging techniques also for the precise diagnosis. Okay, then is in the field of energy. Okay, so in the field of energy, okay, so it is basically it is used to develop more efficient batteries, I would say, or the fuel cells. कीजिए, मेरी राइटिंग अगर गड़बड़ लग रही हो आपको. Fuel cells, it is used in solar panels. Okay, so like nanowires, they are used in lithium ion batteries to increase the energy storage capacity, and they are also used in solar panels, just now I've told you, to improve their efficiency in converting the sunlight into electricity. So that's how useful they are. Then I've told you, these nanomaterials are used in environment also. How they are used in environment? So they're used to clean up the environmental the contaminants. Like they're used in water filtration system to remove the toxins and pathogens, especially in area like if you're living in Delhi, you have a lot of pollution here. So there also, when water filtration system, when it happens, when artificial rain in that particular scenario also these nanomaterials are used, to purify the rainwater, or to purify the air, and the soil remediation efforts, it is used there also. So also, if I tell you, it is also used in food packaging area also, to enhance the shelf life, and to reduce spoilage. So various areas where we can see the use of these nano materials. Okay, so they're being explored for more effective fast fertilizers also. They're used in as a pesticides also, for minimize environmental impact. Okay, so I hope this lecture, जिसमें हमने बात करी about the introduction of what exactly is this nanomaterial, then we have talked about the structure of it, and then we have talked about the application of it. So I hope ये lecture आपको समझ में आया होगा. अगर समझ में आया तो comment करके मुझे ज़रूर बताइए. I'll see you in the next lecture. Till then, keep studying. Take care.